Beloved, as you listen right now, I speak God's covering over you and your family. His protection resting gently upon your home, His peace surrounding every room, His presence watching over every life connected to yours. Whether you are waking up to a new day or settling into the quiet of the night, know this: God is already here. He has gone before you, and He is sitting with you in this very moment, inviting your heart to rest in Him. Take a slow breath and let your spirit become still. You don't have to strive. You don't have to force anything, just be. The same God who formed the heavens is mindful of you right now. He sees every hidden burden, every silent prayer, every unspoken worry, and He gently whispers, "You are not alone." As you listen each day, allow His presence to settle over you like a calm river, washing away anxiety and replacing it with quiet assurance. There is something powerful about returning to God daily, in the small, consistent moments. Not loud, not rushed, just faithful. When you make space for Him in the morning, He orders your steps. When you rest in Him at night, He renews your strength. This simple act of listening, of sitting in His presence, becomes a doorway where fear loses its grip and peace begins to grow inside you. If this moment is speaking to your heart, I gently invite you to like this video and subscribe to the channel for daily prayers that will continue to strengthen your walk with God. And as you sit here in His presence, write Amen in the comments as a declaration of your faith, and share one thing you are believing God for today, because even now, He is moving in ways you may not yet see. So stay here for a moment longer. Let your heart rest, let your mind be quiet, and let God be God in your life. You don't have to carry everything by yourself. His presence is enough. His peace is enough. And as you listen, whether morning or night, He will gently remind you again and again. You are held, you are loved, and you are never alone. There is a quiet assurance that settles into the heart when you begin to realize that God's presence is not something distant or occasional, but something constant, something living, something gently surrounding you and your family every single day. It is not loud, it is not forceful, it does not rush in with noise or demand attention. Instead, it comes like a soft covering, like a calm breath over your life, like a stillness that whispers peace, even when the world around you feels uncertain. And in this moment, as you sit here, listening, you are not reaching out to find God. You are becoming aware that He is already here, already near, already holding you in a way that your natural eyes cannot see, but your spirit can feel. There are times when life moves so quickly that you forget how close He is. You wake up, you go through your day, you carry responsibilities, you think about what needs to be done, and somewhere in the middle of all of that, the awareness of His presence becomes quiet. Not because He has moved away, but because your attention has been pulled in so many directions. Yet even then, even in those busy moments, He remains. He does not step back, He does not grow distant, He does not wait for perfection. He simply stays watching over you, guiding you in unseen ways, protecting what you cannot protect on your own, covering your family in ways you may never fully understand. And when you slow down, even just a little, something begins to shift. The noise begins to soften. The weight you have been carrying starts to loosen, and you begin to feel it again. That gentle nearness, that quiet presence, that unexplainable peace. It does not come because everything around you has suddenly changed. It comes because you are remembering who is with you. You are remembering that you are not walking through life alone, that every step you take is already known, already seen, already covered by a God who cares deeply about every detail of your life. There is a deep comfort in knowing that His presence is not only with you, but also with your family. The people you love, the ones you think about, the ones you pray for even when you don't have the words. He is with them too. He sees them when you cannot. He protects them in moments you may never witness. He guides them in ways that go beyond your understanding. And even when you feel like you cannot control what happens around them, you can rest in the truth that God's presence surrounds them just as it surrounds you, forming a covering that is constant, faithful, and full of love. Sometimes, your heart may carry quiet concerns. You may think about their safety, their future, their well-being. You may wonder if everything will be okay. And in those moments, God gently reminds you that His presence is greater than your worry. His covering is stronger than your fear. His faithfulness is deeper than your uncertainty. You do not have to hold everything together on your own, because He is already holding it. He is already working in places you cannot see, already making ways where you cannot imagine, already surrounding your family with a peace that reaches beyond human understanding. As you continue to sit in this moment, allow that truth to settle deeper into your heart. Let it move beyond just something you hear and become something you feel. You are surrounded, not just in this moment, but always. When you wake up in the morning, His presence is already there. When you go through your day, He walks with you. When you rest at night, He watches over you. There is never a moment where you are uncovered, never a moment where you are left alone, never a moment where His presence steps away. And the beauty of this is that you do not have to earn it. You do not have to strive for it. You do not have to become perfect to experience it. His presence is a gift, given freely, offered with love, extended with grace. All you have to do is become aware. All you have to do is pause, breathe, and allow yourself to rest in what is already true. God is with you. God is surrounding you. God is covering your family. There is a calm strength that begins to rise within you when you live from this place of awareness. You no longer move through life with the same fear or uncertainty because something inside you has shifted. You begin to trust more deeply. You begin to rest more fully. You begin to walk with a quiet confidence that does not come from your circumstances, but from the presence of God that surrounds you in every moment, even when challenges come, even when things do not go as planned, even when you face moments that feel difficult or unclear. His presence remains unchanged. It does not weaken. It does not disappear. It does not pull back. It stays steady, constant, and faithful. And in those moments, when everything else feels uncertain, that presence becomes your anchor. It holds you steady. It keeps you grounded. It reminds you that you are still covered, still protected, still deeply loved. And as you continue to listen each day, whether in the quiet of the morning or the stillness of the night, this awareness will grow stronger. It will become more natural, more familiar, more real to you. You will begin to notice it in the small moments, in the quiet pauses, in the gentle peace that comes without explanation. You will begin to sense God not just in these times of listening, but throughout your entire day in ways that feel personal, comforting, and deeply real. Let this become your rhythm. Not something forced, not something rushed, but something gentle and consistent. Returning to His presence again and again, allowing it to settle into your heart, allowing it to shape your thoughts, allowing it to calm your spirit. And as you do, you will find that the peace you experience here does not stay here. It begins to flow into every part of your life, into your decisions, into your relationships, into the way you carry yourself each day. Your family will feel it too. The peace that rests on you will begin to touch them. The calm that fills your heart will begin to influence your home. The presence of God that surrounds you will begin to create an atmosphere that others can sense, even if they cannot explain it. And in this way, His presence does not just stay with you. It begins to flow through you, touching everything around you with quiet grace and gentle peace. So remain here, even if just for a few more moments. Let your heart be still. Let your mind be quiet. Let every worry begin to loosen its hold as you rest in the truth that you are surrounded by the presence of God, and that same presence is covering your family, holding them, guiding them, protecting them, and loving them in ways that go far beyond what you can see or understand. And as this awareness continues to deepen within you, you begin to realize that this is not just something you visit for a moment, but something you can live in, something you can carry with you, something that becomes a quiet foundation beneath everything you do. And as you breathe gently and allow yourself to rest, you may begin to notice how even your thoughts start to slow down, how your heart begins to feel lighter, how the tension you didn't even realize you were carrying starts to melt away, and in its place comes a steady, quiet peace that does not depend on circumstances, a peace that does not need everything to be perfect, a peace that simply comes from knowing that God is here, that He is near, that He is surrounding you and your family right now, in this very moment. And as you stay here, letting that truth settle deeper, you may begin to sense that gentle reassurance growing stronger, like a soft voice within reminding you that you are covered, that your family is covered, that nothing is outside of His awareness, nothing is beyond His reach, nothing is too small or too great for Him to hold. And as this calm continues to spread through your spirit, you find yourself letting go just a little more, releasing the need to control everything, releasing the pressure to have all the answers, and instead resting in the quiet confidence that comes from being surrounded by a presence that never leaves, never fades, never fails. And as this moment continues, you may notice how even the atmosphere around you begins to feel different, lighter, calmer, more peaceful, as though His presence is gently filling the space, wrapping around you and your home, bringing a sense of safety, a sense of comfort, a sense of being held in a way that words cannot fully describe. And as you remain in this stillness, allowing yourself to simply be, you are gently reminded once again that you are not alone, that you never have been, and that you never will be, because His presence surrounds you and your family every single day, quietly, faithfully, lovingly, without interruption, without hesitation, without end. There is a gentle peace that begins to settle over your heart when you allow yourself to rest quietly in God, not striving, not searching, not trying to force anything to happen, but simply being still and aware that He is already near. It is a different kind of peace, not the kind that depends on everything around you being perfect, but the kind that flows softly even when life feels uncertain. It does not rush in like a wave, it comes slowly, like a calm presence filling the room, like a quiet breath that reaches into the deepest parts of your soul and begins to soften everything it touches. As you sit here, listening, there is no pressure on you. You don't have to fix anything right now. You don't have to figure everything out. You don't have to carry the weight of tomorrow or replay the concerns of yesterday. In this moment, you are simply invited to rest. And as you allow yourself to do that, something begins to shift within you. The tension you've been holding begins to loosen. The thoughts that have been racing begin to slow, and your heart starts to find a rhythm that feels calm, steady, and safe. Resting in God is not about doing more. It is about letting go. It is about releasing the need to control every detail and trusting that the one who sees everything is already working on your behalf. There is a quiet confidence that begins to grow when you understand that you do not have to hold your life together on your own. God is already holding it. He is already present in every situation, already aware of every need, already moving in ways that are beyond what you can see. Sometimes, the hardest part is allowing yourself to be still. The world teaches you to keep moving, to keep thinking, to keep trying, to keep pushing forward. But God often meets you in the stillness. Not in the noise, not in the rush, but in the quiet moments, where your heart becomes open and your spirit becomes aware. It is in that stillness that His peace begins to settle over you, not as something distant, but as something deeply personal and close. As you continue to sit in this quiet space, notice how your breathing becomes slower, how your body begins to relax, how your mind starts to release its grip on things that felt heavy just moments ago. This is what happens when you rest in His presence. It is not forced. It is not complicated. It is not something you have to achieve. It is something you receive. A gentle exchange begins to take place, where your worry is replaced with peace, your fear with calm, your uncertainty with a quiet assurance that God is near. You may not have all the answers right now, and that is okay. You may not understand everything that is happening in your life, and that is okay too. Resting in God means trusting that even when you do not understand, He does. Even when you cannot see the way forward, He already knows the path. And as you let go of the need to figure everything out, you make space for His peace to fill the places where worry once lived. There is something deeply healing about this kind of rest. It reaches into places that words cannot fully describe. It calms emotions that have been unsettled. It brings clarity where there has been confusion. It creates a sense of safety that allows your heart to breathe again. And as you continue to rest, you may begin to feel that quiet warmth, that gentle stillness, that sense of being held by something greater than yourself. This is not something that only happens once. It is something you can return to again and again. Each day, each moment, whenever you feel overwhelmed or tired, you can come back to this place of quiet rest. You can pause, take a breath, and remind yourself that God is here, that His presence has not moved, that His peace is still available to you. And every time you return, it becomes easier. Your heart learns to recognize this peace. Your spirit becomes familiar with this stillness. Even in the middle of a busy day, you can carry this rest within you. It does not require a perfect environment. It does not require everything around you to be quiet. It begins within you. A gentle awareness that no matter where you are, God is with you, and His peace is available to you. You can take a moment, even just a few seconds, to pause and reconnect with that presence, to let your thoughts settle, to let your heart remember what it feels like to be at peace. And as you continue to practice this, you may begin to notice that things that once overwhelmed you no longer have the same effect. Situations that once caused stress begin to feel more manageable. Your reactions begin to change. Instead of being carried by anxiety, you begin to respond from a place of calm. Instead of feeling rushed or pressured, you begin to move with a quiet steadiness that comes from knowing that you are not alone in what you are facing. This peace is not fragile. It is not something that disappears easily. It is rooted in the presence of God, and His presence does not change. Even when your circumstances do, even when your emotions rise and fall, even when life feels unpredictable, His peace remains steady. And as you rest in Him, you begin to anchor yourself in something that is unchanging, something that is reliable, something that you can trust. Let yourself stay here for a little while longer. There is no need to hurry. Let the stillness continue to deepen. Let your heart continue to soften. Let every breath remind you that you are safe, that you are held, that you are surrounded by a presence that is gentle, loving, and constant. You may begin to feel a quiet sense of gratitude rising within you, not because everything is perfect, but because you are aware that you are not walking through life alone. There may still be things you are carrying, concerns that have not yet been resolved, questions that have not yet been answered. But in this moment, you are not being asked to solve them. You are being invited to rest, to trust that God is already at work, even in the unseen, to allow His peace to fill your heart, even before the situation changes. Because sometimes the greatest change begins within you, as your heart learns to rest in Him. And as you continue to listen each day, whether in the morning or at night, this rhythm of rest will begin to shape your life. It will become a quiet foundation that supports you through every moment. A place you can return to when you need clarity, when you need strength, when you need peace. And over time, you will find that this rest is not something you visit occasionally, but something you carry with you wherever you go. A gentle, steady awareness that God is near, that His peace is within you, and that no matter what you face, you can always come back to this place of quiet, calm, and presence, where everything begins to slow down, where your thoughts begin to align with peace instead of pressure, where your heart feels safe enough to release what it has been holding on to, and where you begin to realize that you don't have to strive to feel close to God, because He is already closer than you think. And as you remain in this stillness, you may notice that even the smallest sense of worry begins to dissolve, replaced by a gentle trust that builds quietly, not in loud declarations, but in soft assurance. And that assurance continues to grow as you allow yourself to rest more deeply, to breathe more slowly, to let go more freely, and to simply exist in this moment without the need to rush ahead or look back. Just being here, just being present, just being held in a peace that continues to surround you, fill you, and gently remind you that everything you need in this moment is already found in resting quietly in Him. There is a quiet strength that begins to grow within you when you choose to connect with God each day, not out of pressure or obligation, but out of a gentle desire to be near Him, to sit in His presence, and to allow His voice to guide your heart. It does not always feel dramatic or overwhelming. In fact, most of the time it feels simple, calm, and steady. But within that simplicity is something deeply powerful, something that begins to shape your thoughts, your emotions, and your direction in ways you may not immediately notice. Yet over time, it becomes the very foundation that carries you through life. When you begin your day with God, even for a few quiet moments, you are doing more than just forming a habit. You are opening a space for His presence to meet you, for His peace to settle over you, and for His wisdom to gently guide your steps. It is in these small, consistent moments that your spirit becomes aligned with something greater than your circumstances. Instead of being pulled in different directions by the demands of life, you begin to move with a quiet sense of purpose, knowing that you are not navigating your day alone. There is something deeply reassuring about knowing that God is not distant from your daily life. He is not waiting for a perfect moment or a perfect version of you. He meets you right where you are, in the ordinary, in the routine, in the simple act of pausing and turning your heart toward Him. And as you do this consistently, something begins to change within you. Your awareness of His presence grows stronger. Your sensitivity to His guidance becomes clearer. Your ability to recognize His peace becomes more natural. You may not always hear a clear voice or receive immediate answers, and that is okay. Connection with God is not always about receiving something instantly. It is about being with Him. It is about allowing your heart to rest in His presence, trusting that even in the quiet, He is working, He is guiding, He is strengthening you in ways that go beyond what you can see. And often, it is in this quiet connection that you begin to sense direction, not as a loud command, but as a gentle knowing, a calm clarity that rises within you. As you continue to return to this place each day, your inner world begins to change. The way you think starts to shift. Instead of being overwhelmed by worry, you begin to feel a quiet confidence. Instead of being driven by fear, you begin to move with a sense of trust. Instead of feeling uncertain about every decision, you begin to notice a gentle guidance that leads you step by step. It is not always about knowing the entire path ahead. It is about trusting the next step, knowing that God is guiding you in each moment. There will be days when it feels easier, when the peace comes quickly, when the connection feels strong and clear. And there may be days when it feels more difficult, when your mind is busy, when your emotions feel heavy, when it takes a little longer to settle into that quiet space. But even in those moments, your consistency matters. Your willingness to show up, to sit, to be present with God, even when it feels simple or even when it feels challenging, is what allows that connection to grow deeper over time. It is not about perfection. It is about presence. It is about choosing, again and again, to turn your heart toward Him, to make space for Him in your day, to allow His presence to become a natural part of your life. And as you do, you begin to realize that this connection is not limited to a specific time or place. It begins to follow you throughout your day. In the middle of your work, in your conversations, in your decisions, you begin to sense that gentle awareness that God is with you, guiding you, strengthening you, supporting you. There is a quiet strength that comes from this kind of connection. It is not loud or forceful, but it is steady and reliable. It holds you when things feel uncertain. It gives you clarity when you feel confused. It brings peace when your emotions feel unsettled. And as you continue to connect with God daily, this strength becomes a part of you. It becomes something you can rely on, something that supports you through every moment, something that reminds you that you are never alone in what you are facing. You may begin to notice that situations that once felt overwhelming no longer carry the same weight. Not because the situations have changed, but because you have changed. Your connection with God has given you a different perspective, a different way of seeing things, a different way of responding. Instead of reacting from fear or stress, you begin to respond from a place of calm and trust. Instead of feeling lost, you begin to feel guided, even when the path is not completely clear. And this guidance is not always about big decisions or major moments. It often shows up in the small details of your day. A gentle thought that leads you in a certain direction. A quiet sense of peace that confirms a choice. A subtle nudge that encourages you to pause or to move forward. These are the ways God often guides. Not through force, but through gentle, consistent presence that you begin to recognize more clearly as your connection with Him deepens. As you continue to listen, to sit, to return to this place each day, you are building something within your spirit. A foundation of trust, a rhythm of peace, a steady connection that does not depend on how you feel in the moment, but on the truth that God is always near. And over time, this becomes something that carries you, something that supports you, something that gives you strength in ways that feel quiet but deeply real. Even when life feels busy, even when your schedule is full, even when there are many things demanding your attention, these moments of connection remain important. They do not have to be long or complicated. Even a few minutes of quiet, of stillness, of turning your heart toward God can make a difference. It is not about how much time you spend, but about the consistency of returning, the willingness to make space, the openness to allow His presence to meet you where you are. And as you continue this journey, you may begin to notice something else. A deeper sense of peace that stays with you. A calm that does not disappear when challenges arise. A quiet assurance that even when things are uncertain, you are still being guided, still being supported, still being held by a presence that is steady and unchanging. This is the fruit of daily connection. This is the strength that grows within you as you continue to return to Him. So remain here for a moment longer. Let your heart stay open. Let your mind remain calm. Let this connection continue to deepen, not through effort, but through presence. And as you sit in this quiet space, allow yourself to simply be with God, to feel His nearness, to trust that He is working within you, strengthening you, guiding you, shaping your path in ways that are gentle, steady, and full of peace. And as you continue to return to this place each day, you may begin to realize that this connection is not something separate from your life, but something woven into every part of it, something that moves with you, something that breathes through your thoughts and your decisions, something that gently reminds you throughout your day that you are being guided, that you are being strengthened, that you are not alone. And even in the quietest moments, when nothing seems to be happening on the outside, something is being built within you. Something steady, something lasting, something that continues to grow stronger with each moment you choose to connect, to pause, to be present, to listen, to trust, and to allow God's presence to lead you forward with a calm assurance that continues to unfold within you as you move gently through each moment of your day. There is a quiet power in consistency that often goes unnoticed in the beginning. Something gentle and steady that builds over time as you return to God again and again in simple, faithful prayer. It does not always feel dramatic or immediate, and it does not always come with visible change right away. But beneath the surface, something is forming. Each time you pause, each time you listen, each time you open your heart, even in the smallest way, you are creating space for God to move. Not just around you, but within you, shaping your spirit in ways that will eventually begin to overflow into every part of your life. Consistency in prayer is not about perfection. It is not about saying the right words or having the perfect mindset every time. It is about showing up, even when you feel tired, even when your mind is busy, even when your emotions feel uncertain. It is about returning to that quiet place where you acknowledge God's presence, where you allow your heart to soften, where you make room for His peace to settle over you. And in that steady returning, something begins to shift. Your connection deepens, your awareness grows, your trust becomes stronger. There are moments when it may feel like nothing is happening. You may wonder if your prayers are making a difference, if your quiet time is doing anything at all. But what you cannot see in those moments is the gentle work that is taking place beneath the surface. Just as seeds grow slowly beneath the soil before they ever break through, your consistent prayers are creating something that will eventually rise. They are building faith within you. They are strengthening your spirit. They are aligning your heart with God in ways that will become clear in time. As you continue this rhythm of daily prayer, you begin to notice that your perspective changes. Situations that once felt overwhelming begin to feel more manageable. Thoughts that once brought anxiety begin to lose their intensity. You begin to respond differently, not because everything around you has changed, but because something within you has been strengthened. This is the quiet breakthrough that begins inside your heart long before it becomes visible in your life. And then, over time, you begin to see the external changes as well. Doors that once seemed closed begin to open. Opportunities begin to appear in unexpected ways. Answers begin to come, sometimes in ways you did not anticipate, sometimes in ways that are quiet and subtle, but always with a sense of peace that confirms God's hand is at work. These are the moments when you begin to recognize that your consistency has not been in vain, that every prayer, every moment of stillness, every quiet return to God has been part of something greater. Breakthrough does not always come suddenly. Sometimes it unfolds gradually, like light slowly filling a room at dawn. And as it comes, you realize that it is not just about the change in your circumstances, but about the change in you. You are stronger, you are calmer, you are more grounded in peace. You are more aware of God's presence in your daily life. And this inner transformation becomes the foundation that supports everything else. There is also a deep sense of favor that begins to flow from this consistent connection with God. It is not something you have to chase or strive for. It comes naturally as your life aligns more closely with His presence. You begin to notice small moments of grace throughout your day. Things falling into place, unexpected kindness, a sense of ease in situations that once felt difficult. These are signs of God's favor, gently working in your life, often in ways that are quiet but meaningful. As you continue to return to prayer each day, you are not just asking for things. You are building a relationship. You are learning to trust more deeply. You are allowing God to shape your heart in ways that bring lasting peace and strength. And this relationship becomes the most valuable part of the journey, because it is not dependent on circumstances. It remains steady, even when life changes, even when challenges come, even when things feel uncertain. There will be days when it feels easy to pray, when your heart feels open and your mind feels calm. And there will be days when it feels more difficult, when your thoughts are scattered, when your emotions feel heavy. But consistency means returning even on those days. It means sitting quietly, even if only for a few moments, and allowing God to meet you there. It means trusting that even the smallest act of faithfulness carries meaning. And as you continue, something beautiful begins to happen. Prayer becomes less about effort and more about presence. It becomes less about what you say and more about being with God. You begin to feel His peace more easily. You begin to recognize His guidance more clearly. You begin to trust His timing more deeply. And this trust brings a sense of rest that allows you to move through life with a calm assurance. There is a quiet confidence that grows within you when you know that you are consistently connected to God. You no longer feel the same urgency to control everything or to understand every detail. Instead, you begin to move with a sense of trust, knowing that God is already working, already guiding, already providing in ways that go beyond what you can see. This confidence does not come from your own strength, but from the steady presence of God that you have learned to return to each day. Even in moments when you feel uncertain, this consistency becomes your anchor. It reminds you that you have a place to return to, a source of peace that is always available, a presence that never leaves. And as you continue to build this habit, this rhythm of daily prayer, it becomes something that supports you in every area of your life. It influences the way you think, the way you respond, the way you move through each day. Your life begins to reflect the peace you experience in these moments. Your words become more gentle. Your actions become more intentional. Your heart becomes more open. And this quiet transformation begins to touch the people around you as well. They may not always understand it, but they can feel it. They can sense the calm, the steadiness, the peace that flows from a life rooted in consistent connection with God. And as you continue to sit here, allowing yourself to rest in this moment, you are participating in that process. You are strengthening that connection. You are building that foundation. You are creating space for God to move in your life in ways that are both gentle and powerful. Each moment matters. Each breath matters. Each quiet pause matters more than you may realize. So remain here just a little longer. Let your heart stay open. Let your thoughts remain still. Let the presence of God continue to settle over you, bringing peace, bringing calm, bringing a quiet assurance that something is happening, even now, even in this stillness. And as you continue to return to this place each day, you will find that the strength within you continues to grow, the peace within you continues to deepen, and the breakthroughs you have been waiting for begin to unfold in ways that are steady, meaningful, and filled with a quiet sense of grace that carries you gently forward as your consistency becomes a pathway for God's presence to move freely in your life, shaping your thoughts, guiding your decisions, and surrounding your days with a calm, steady favor that continues to reveal itself in both small and significant ways as you keep returning, keep trusting, keep resting, and keep allowing His presence to meet you right where you are. Again and again, with a quiet faithfulness that never fades, never weakens, and never fails. There is a gentle shift that begins to take place within your heart when you choose to trust God fully, not partially, not only in the moments that feel easy, but even in the moments that feel uncertain, confusing, or beyond your understanding. It is not a loud decision. It is not something that demands attention from the outside, but deep within. Something begins to soften, something begins to release, and something begins to rest. Trust is not about having every answer. It is about allowing yourself to lean into the presence of God, even when the path ahead is not clear, even when your emotions feel unsettled, even when your thoughts try to pull you in different directions. When you begin to trust God fully, you slowly release the weight of trying to control everything. You begin to let go of the need to understand every detail, to fix every situation, to carry every outcome on your own shoulders. And as you release that weight, something beautiful begins to happen. The fear that once felt heavy starts to lose its grip. The anxiety that once filled your thoughts begins to quiet down. And in its place, a gentle assurance begins to rise. Not because everything around you has suddenly changed, but because something within you has shifted. Fear often grows in the spaces where trust has not yet settled. It speaks in questions, in what-ifs, in imagined outcomes that have not yet happened. It tries to convince you that you must hold everything together, that you must anticipate every possibility, that you must be prepared for every outcome. But when you begin to trust God fully, you gently step out of that cycle. You begin to recognize that you are not alone in what you are facing, that you do not have to carry everything by yourself, that there is a presence with you that is greater than your fears and stronger than your uncertainties. Trusting God does not mean that you will never feel fear. There may still be moments when your heart feels uncertain, when your thoughts become restless, when situations arise that challenge your sense of peace. But in those moments, trust becomes your anchor. It reminds you of what is true. It gently pulls you back to a place of calm. It allows you to breathe again, to pause, to remember that God is still in control, that He is still present, that He is still working, even when you cannot see it. As you continue to sit in this moment, allow yourself to feel that gentle release. You do not have to hold on to every worry. You do not have to carry every concern. You can place it in God's hands, not in a hurried or forced way, but in a quiet, trusting way. Like placing something down and stepping back, knowing that it is now being held by someone who is fully capable, fully aware, and deeply caring. There is a deep peace that begins to flow when you trust in this way. It is not rushed. It is not overwhelming. It is steady, like a calm river, moving gently through your spirit. It brings a sense of rest that goes beyond understanding. It allows your heart to settle, your thoughts to slow, your body to relax. And as this peace begins to fill you, you start to realize that you do not need to have everything figured out in order to feel at peace. You only need to trust the one who does. Trust also changes the way you see your journey. Instead of viewing challenges as obstacles that must be overcome on your own, you begin to see them as moments where God is present with you, guiding you, strengthening you, shaping you in ways that will bring growth and deeper understanding. You begin to see that even in the difficult moments, there is purpose, there is care, there is a quiet unfolding that is leading you forward. And as you continue to trust, your heart becomes lighter. The heaviness that once felt constant begins to fade. The pressure to control everything begins to release. You begin to move through your day with a sense of ease, not because everything is perfect, but because you are no longer carrying everything alone. You are walking with God, step by step, moment by moment, trusting that He is leading you, even when you cannot see the full picture. This kind of trust is built over time. It grows through moments like this, where you choose to pause, to listen, to rest in God's presence. It grows each time you release a worry instead of holding on to it. It grows each time you choose faith over fear, even in the smallest ways. And as it grows, it becomes something strong and steady within you. Something that supports you through every situation. Something that reminds you that you are safe, that you are held, that you are not alone. There is also a quiet assurance that comes with trusting God fully. It is a sense of knowing, deep within, that everything will be okay, even if the details are not yet clear. It is not based on circumstances. It is based on the character of God, on His faithfulness, on His presence that never leaves. And as this assurance grows, it begins to shape your thoughts, your emotions, your responses. You begin to think differently. You begin to speak differently. You begin to move through life with a calm confidence that is rooted in trust. As you continue to sit here, let that assurance settle deeper into your heart. Let it become something you feel, not just something you hear. You are not alone in what you are facing. You are not responsible for holding everything together. You are not expected to have all the answers. God is with you, and He is trustworthy. He is gentle. He is present. He is guiding you in ways that are steady and full of care. Even now, as you breathe slowly and allow your thoughts to quiet, you may begin to notice how that sense of fear continues to soften. It does not have the same hold it once did. It begins to fade into the background as trust takes its place, and in that space, peace begins to grow. A quiet, steady peace that remains, even when everything else feels uncertain. Let yourself remain here for a few more moments. There is no need to rush. There is no need to move on too quickly. This is where your heart finds rest. This is where your spirit is renewed. This is where trust begins to deepen, not through effort, but through presence. And as you stay here, you are allowing something within you to be strengthened, something that will carry you beyond this moment and into the rest of your day. And as you continue to listen, day after day, this trust will continue to grow. It will become more natural, more steady, more deeply rooted within you. You will begin to notice it in your reactions, in your thoughts, in the way you respond to situations that once felt overwhelming. You will begin to move with a quiet confidence, knowing that you are being guided, that you are being supported, that you are not alone in anything you face. So stay here just a little longer, allowing that calm to deepen, allowing that trust to settle, allowing every part of you to release what it has been holding on to. And as you do, you may begin to feel a quiet sense of freedom rising within you, a gentle release from the weight of fear, a soft reassurance that continues to grow stronger with each breath. And as this feeling expands, you begin to understand that trust is not something distant or difficult to reach, but something that is already forming within you, something that becomes clearer as you slow down, as you listen, as you allow yourself to rest in God's presence. And in this quiet space, you may notice how even the smallest sense of worry begins to fade, replaced by a calm awareness that you are being held, that you are being guided, that you are safe in a way that goes beyond circumstances. And as you continue to remain here, letting that peace surround you, you may find that your heart begins to feel lighter, your thoughts become gentler, your spirit becomes more at ease. And this is the quiet strength of trust. Not loud, not forceful, but steady, faithful, and deeply present, carrying you softly through each moment as you continue to rest, continue to believe, continue to release, and continue to walk forward with a calm assurance that fills your heart and gently reminds you that everything you need in this moment is already found in trusting God fully and allowing His peace to fill every space within you. As we come to the end of this quiet moment together, just allow your heart to remain still for a little longer. There is no need to rush away from this peace. Let it settle gently within you, like a soft light that continues to glow even after the moment has passed. God is not leaving you here. His presence is not limited to this time. What you feel right now can stay with you as you move forward. Carry this calm with you into the rest of your day or into your night. Let it shape your thoughts, soften your words, and guide your actions. You don't have to go back to stress or worry. You can move slowly, peacefully, knowing that God is with you in every step you take, in every decision you make, in every moment you face. If your heart feels lighter, if you sense even a small shift within you, hold on to that. That is the beginning of something deeper. That is God gently reminding you that He is near, that He is working, that He is present in ways you may not always see, but can always trust. Take a quiet breath again, and remind yourself that you are not alone. You are covered, you are guided, you are held in a love that does not change with your circumstances. Even when things feel uncertain, His presence remains steady and faithful. Make this a daily moment for yourself. Come back to this place again and again, not out of obligation, but out of desire. A desire to be close to God, to hear His still voice, to feel His peace settle over your heart. In this consistency, you will begin to notice a deeper strength forming within you. If this prayer has blessed you, gently take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel for daily prayers that will continue to guide and strengthen your spirit. And as a simple act of faith, write Amen in the comments and share one thing you are believing God for today. As you step away from this moment, remember that God goes with you. His presence surrounds your home, your family, your path ahead. There is nothing you will face today or tonight that He is not already aware of, already prepared for, already covering with His peace. Let your heart stay open. Let your spirit remain soft. You don't need to carry everything. You don't need to figure everything out. Just keep trusting, Keep resting. Keep returning to Him in the quiet moments where His presence becomes real again. And even when life becomes busy, even when your mind becomes full, you can pause, even for a few seconds, and remember this feeling. You can return to this peace. You can reconnect with God right where you are, because He is always near. So go forward gently, with calm in your heart and trust in your spirit, knowing that you are never walking alone, and that the peace you feel right now is only the beginning of what God desires to continue pouring into your life as you keep drawing close to Him each day.